Welcome back to the show. We are going live with my brother, Stanley. Yep, you guys just missed. We had an amazing talk with my brother, um, Imagoli. So we're going live with my brother Stanley, born grounded. So you guys need to buy the book. Yes. I'm ready for the night though. I'm ready for tonight though. When we settle to right though, I will never leave your side though. It's looking like a light though. Yes, sir.
Boss.
Let's get some music. Let's get some music.
Okay.
What do you know about this?
I know a whole lot.
Hey, Stanley, man. So what do I call you? Mr. Bond? James Bond? Stanley Ebigbo? What do I call you? Born grounded? What do I call you?
Whatever you choose to call me. My name is
Let me just call you Boss Man.
My name is Stanley. But my industry name or my what do I say? My nickname goes by Bond. That's what people know me as, right? Nice. From before I got to the level I am now, right? Way back from school.
Nice. So where are you calling from? Where are you at now?
I'm in Jersey.
Okay. Oh, really? I didn't. Okay, so in Jersey. So first of all, let me show you guys that I got a personally autographed copy of this fantastic book. Can you see it? Right?
Yes, sir.
This is the real stuff. Thank you so much. We never got to. I never got to say thank you properly for this. But so yeah, let's go into it, man. So tell us a bit about Bond. I mean, what's your background? Tell us a bit about your childhood. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Enugu State. But I'm from Nnewi, Anambra.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. My in-law.
In Enugu State. My school there, I studied computer science and IMT. You know, okay. That's where I find my love for music. You know, doing campus events, picnic from my state to other states, Anambra, you know, neighboring cities around. That's where I also get to meet a whole lot of my Eastern brothers, you know, that are doing well today, because it's a small town, and we have like this one studio that, you know, if you're into music, you must link up with everybody, you must know everybody, you know. And I'm a developer. I'm a developer. I'm a creator. I love music a lot. I do other things, like I have there's something I'm working on now on the tech, you know, tying it down to talent, artists, you know, which I will reveal very soon when it's ready.
Nice.
You know, so my knowledge in music is people like you that pushed me into what I'm doing now. You know, what I've been able to do in the last 10 years is people like you, making it look so easy. You know. So
I see Fino in the house. Fino just missed us playing his music. Fino, I hello. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So people like you, people like Ron DMC, people like Def Jam, you know, people like Obi Asika, The Storm, FN, a whole bunch of people, LD, you know, they inspired me a lot. They pushed me into doing what I'm doing at the moment, going into management and music business, which results to this book now. All my experience, my struggle, you know, the drive, trying to inspire the next guy that wants to be like maybe Audu or Fino, you know, to see the steps, the possibilities that it's possible to go from 0 naira, 0 levels, you know, and become bigger than Fino or Jay-Z, you know, something like that. Yes.
So I mean, first of all, I love the cover of the book. I like the book. Like, it's very attractive. But
Yeah.
what I like the most is when you go into the book, it's very simple in how it's laid out. And sometimes I think people like us, we lawyers, like to complicate things. We like grammar, you know, and there's so much that's complicated. And the music industry itself is very complicated as is.
Yeah.
So I think it's very, very, I think it's great that people are actually trying to now understand the business behind the music itself, you know. So when you're at IMU, IMT, sorry, what was, yeah, IMT, sorry, what was it like? What was the music culture there? Were there shows? Were you a promoter? What were you doing in that space in music at all?
As of that time, this story is funny. As of that time, I was an artist.
Oh,
I started out
okay.
as an artist, yeah, which we even lead my next book, you know, but let me not talk about it now. Along the line, before I became Fino's manager, Fino was actually my producer. Then he was a producer.
Wow. Are
I'm
you
telling you.
serious?
I'm telling you,
Okay.
you know, but
What
then
year? What year was this? What year was this?
this was like 2004, 5.
Okay.
Thereabout, 24, 25, thereabout, you know. We were just doing campus picnics, you know, departmental picnics, campus and stuff like that. So I was always around it. It was just about me, music, events. Anywhere it's happening, you will see me there, you know. So doing it from school, now take it outside from school, inside the city now, the Enugu city now. MTN, I remember when MTN, they used to do MTN's campus gigs. So when they come around, they have to pick the guys that are popping up then, you know. So I started getting involved. That was when I met AY, the comedian, the first time they come to Enugu, you know. People like MI came, people like Timaya, so many people there that time, that era. So seeing what they were doing really inspired me a lot, and I'm like, wow. And I used to see what's happening in Lagos, and also in the States here. So I'll be like, wow, this thing is possible. We have to get into this. Then
so what kind of music were you doing there? Was it hip hop or was it high life? What kind of music were you doing there?
I used to be a rapper.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I have a couple of songs. Some of my songs are still online though. SoundCloud, man. Then
So how do you meet Fino? How do you guys meet with Fino in the first place?
Fino, we're in the same school, the same set, but different department.
Okay.
Right? The same set with them brackets. You know, there's so many musicians in my school as of then. Even Mr. Raw, people like Mr. Raw went the same thing.
Wow.
You know, we have a lot of even which other artists again? Slow Dog, most of them they schooled in my school. So meeting Fino was the same music business too. He was in my department, he was in another department, business admin, computer science.
Fino said don't play those songs.
I mean, computer science. So we always link up together. It's just music. After school, I'll go to their house, you know, studio. I'll just spend the rest of the day there. So it became a family thing. It was just me and Fino. So people think that this is my brother. So whenever you see Fino, you see me. Whenever you see me, you see Fino. Stuff like that. So we took it from that school till we moved to Lagos. And, you know, till date, it's been like that. You know, it's a funny story though.
So you finished your degree. Well, what is your degree in?
I didn't really finish my degree then. No, it was just OND.
Okay.
OND.
You get your OND. Then you moved to Lagos.
Yeah. Then OND. Then I moved to Lagos. Moving to Lagos is just this music hustle too. You know, music hustle, because I discovered that the kind of things I want to see, the kind of people I want to meet. The media is in Lagos, so the kind of things I want to experience, people I want to link up with, I can't find them around me, you know. And then I've started already. This passion for music is going deep inside my head. You know, there's a book I read that time. The book changed my perspective. It's called "It Takes a Minute to Change Your Life" by Willie Jolie. It's a very powerful book. So the book helped me to
Willie Jolie. Well, let me write that. Yeah, but go on, please.
So it now helped me to discover my purpose. Like, okay, I can actually make a career out of this music thing, because then it was just the normal vibe, you know, just flowing around it. sometimes we get a little amount of money, but it wasn't about the money. It was just the love of music. Love of music. Sometimes I remember using my parents' car. I'll just stroll out at night just to go for this event. Then when I come back in the morning, it's fire in the house, you know. But then my dad is a PhD holder. He's always speaking English. You have to go to school. You have to do this, do that, you know. So now that book now helped me to discover that, okay, I can actually make a career out of this music. I can, you know, set myself up. I can go any length I want in life, you know. So now moving to that Lagos is like, with my small bag, I'm going to Lagos. So I don't really have much friends. It's just one of my cousins, you know. So I'm moving to Lagos. The first day I landed, it was very crazy because I've never been to Lagos before. It was Lawasin, so everything was like crazy. Then I now met one guy. There's a studio in Surulere, Lawasin, called Heavy Metals.
Okay.
So one of the first studio I linked up with, you know, just one of my auntie I was staying with then told me that, okay, since you're into music, this guy. So the guy now introduced me to so many people. He took me to the late OJB, their studio. You know, I met a whole bunch of them, Two-Face them. So I really got inspired. So that thing alone made me like, okay, this thing, I'm closer.
So who was the biggest artist around that time? Was Two-Face, right? Was Two-Face around that?
A whole lot. So there's Two-Face, there's Rugged Man, there's Too Short, there's LD, there is the Genie.
Raw was. So this is like 2006, 7, 2005.
Yeah, 2007, 8, 9, thereabout. LD, Ale Blaze, you know, a whole bunch of people. Then Ale Blaze is another guy that really made us believe that, okay, this Igbo music is dope, because, you know, coming from where we are coming from, we don't really speak English. Our music, you know, is indigenous rap that, you know, is doing. It was a little bit tough to penetrate. You know, so meeting all these people, just that first day I went to that OJB studio, I saw a whole bunch of artists. Okay. I'm
it's
like,
possible.
Dream country, but it wasn't easy because Lagos now.
I remember, because in that time, you know, the industry there's so many people there. I mean, obviously there are more people now than then, but there's so many good people at that time.
Yes.
You understand? There's so many good people. Like for me, Igbo music is probably the most let me be careful about the shooting, but I think it's the best indigenous music from Nigeria.
Yeah.
I just feel so, because it's rich. The high life, the guitars, the strings, you know, just what they do with that music is so rich that. But for a long time, it seemed like it was more of the English speaking music that was reigning at that time. So how do you guys make that transition from, you know, where do you know it could happen with indigenous music?
we've seen people like the late MC Love, you know, he did it. People like Lord of Hajasa.
Oh yeah,
they were not doing English rap. You know, they were doing it with that indigenous thing, and it's working. People they're winning fans all over. You know, people like Mr. Raw did it all the way from Enugu.
Yeah, Mr. Raw,
he did it. He brought that Afro. There's one sound that he introduced. You know, that sound is very, very crazy with our Eastern culture. For those who hear the sound, he introduced that sound. So that sound is like, some people remake it again. People like, I don't want to mention their names, but that sound, those kind of things made us believe that, wow, there's future in this. You know, then Olamide now came on his own and now did something crazy. So those things started giving us hope, like, wow, okay.
It's
then
possible.
MI came with an English rap. So then hip-hop rap music was on another level. You know, there was Rugged Man, there is Mode 9, there is LD. They were doing it, you know, but that indigenous rap thing is not so easy to penetrate. But Iblis now came that Igbo boy thing, you go. So that thing, like, for me, there is future, there is hope in this thing.
Have you listened to Iblis's new album?
Huh?
Have you listened to Iblis's new album?
I'm on it, so I just started listening to it.
It's crazy. Crazy.
Iblis is a boss now.
No,
Okay.
great, no, he's a boss. No, I must give him that. But so Fino was your producer. How do you
Yes.
now switch? When did this switch happen? Now that you now became his manager and became
when I started going deep into the music and the business side, right? I now discovered. Then that book again, I told you, now helped me to figure, because I bought that book twice. I bought the first one. My brother bought it for me. Then one of my friends took it. I have to buy it again by myself. So the book now started telling me about your strengths, right? You have to really know your strength, what you are really good at, managing people, hospitality, you know, or being a celebrity. Everybody wants to be on the billboard. It looks nice. But are you really called to do that? You get? So when I started going deep in on the business side, so this, I said like, okay, this is really me, and it's very easy for me to do like this, you know, negotiating with people, building relationship and stuff like that. So I started putting in more interest. Then along the line, Pino later moved to Lagos, and Runtown, some other of my friends, we moved to Lagos, and we started the hustle again. That is after grinding in Enugu, making just a little name. You know, Fino is known then, just production wise, he's very dope. He became #1. Everybody wants to identify with him, you know. So me on my own on Lagos, I'm just trying to grind on my own. Then I started doing, I started using my Cov 2 BlackBerry. Started doing PR on the side.
Okay.
So started doing like that. From there, I grew to having a blog on the side. You know, I'm just trying to play around media, business side, management and stuff like that. So I was actually looking at a lot of people in what they are doing. People like Jude, P Square. You know, I was looking at their management side. So I started studying a whole lot. And coming to US, I started looking at Dev Jams. I started looking at, you know, the business side, the management side. So looking into all those things, I'm like, okay, let me focus here. You know, let me focus here. I can also become a king on that zone, right? So I started doing those things. Then I was looking for a book as well that can guide me in management. I started reading, you know, music management. I started looking at such books. I'm not really seeing anything. And I started going to YouTube, you know, just doing my research, asking questions. I call Iblis a lot. I started asking questions. I learned a whole lot from everybody, even Jay Martins, a whole lot of people. I was just studying what they are doing. People like you, I'm always on your, I'm always following people like you back to back. How did this guy do this thing? What was this guy thinking about? How was he able to bring these people together, to build these people, to build this collaboration, to build this system, you know? I was just studying all those things, doing all those research, and at the same time, I learned on the job. I learned a whole lot of things.
Just watching people. So, yeah. so I'm going to play something now. I'm going to give you 3 seconds to tell me which song it is right now.
Oh, yeah.
Ready?
Okay.
Tribe Records, 2 shots. Collabo, yo baby boo. I really want to know what's up with you.
That's Big Low now. Big Low and 2 shots.
Big Low.
Big Low, 2 shots. LD.
Baby, I want to know what's up.
What you say?
Big Low. Big Low, 2 shots. Tribesmen.
Okay.
Big Low too is like these people. I don't know how they managed to use that Igbo thing. You know, it sounds funny, but they're making money with it.
Listen,
and
bro,
they're moving with it.
Bro, the production on this song, even now, like if you hear the production, it was just out of the world. And then obviously it's almost a yin and yang of 2 shots. And then Big Low has this small, squishy voice. Big Low was like a big guy. I never met him.
Yes.
2 shots, my guy. But I never met Big Low, unfortunately. But so the question is that I remember at a time when this whole Igbo boy movement was happening. I remember then, and it was a concerted effort, because when you think about stories like people like P Square, I remember we had a conversation with Jude Okoye one time, a long time ago, maybe 10 years ago or so. We met at some event, and my guys were there. They met my eyes, and the twins were there as well. So they're busy having their, you know how these artists are, they're having their fun. We're like, let's go and take fresh air, and we had a conversation. And he said, was very difficult to break in to Lagos music industry because there seemed to be some walls.
Yeah.
It was almost like if you are not from a clique, if you're not from a certain tribe, you could not get into. So what they did was they flipped it. And what they did was they said they focused all the energies in outside of Nigeria, out of Lagos, and we're focusing on other places, which was a great technique in a sense. So I'm sure you must have faced that with Fino, right? So as a manager, what did you do? What was your strategy for making Fino this big global brand now, aside from all the things that obviously there are challenges? How do you guys overcome
At the end of the day, it's God that did it. You know, we saying I made do.
that?
It's God that did it, and
Yeah.
we managed. We had this something. There's a power in building relationships. We have good relationship with different people, either the Yoruba people, the people from the north. You know, so that relationship helped us a lot. Relationship in people in the media, movies, comedy. On their own, who just want to do favors for you, not because they are too fantastic, you know, but because they have respect, there is good attitude, right? So people like Ilbliss played a major role in our business. People like Jude Raw, Mr. Raw, you know, they played a very, very major role in our business. Then it wasn't easy. There are so many walls, like you said, you know, because they don't really understand what we are saying. So it's not easy penetrating brands as well. But before then, we're already making noise elsewhere outside Lagos State. Right? Our music is already buzzing like Abuja, PH, you know, just around Lagos. So all this noise they're making around, they are bringing fire to Lagos. You understand? Especially in the East. You know, Igbo people are everywhere. Then Alaba people, at the time, if Fino become like their boy and anthem. So, and these people, they have their ways of forcing a song on people. You don't know how they do it, but their network is so strong. Like, you will hear it everywhere, in the bus, in the parks, you know. So these media houses, then they don't really have a choice than to accept these people. And when you meet us, when you meet me, or when you meet Fino, you don't have a choice. We don't, you know, we have this relationship because our culture, the way I grew up, the way Fino grew up, the culture is so strong. We are respected people.
No doubt about that. No doubt.
If you meet us, you just want to know, okay, what do we have to offer? Who are these guys? You know, that kind of a thing. So it really helped us a lot. And I've never met anybody, we've never come across anybody that will be like, I'm not feeling these guys, or this guys has nothing to offer. And when you look at the brand Fino too, you'll be like, oh wow, this guy is phenomenal.
No,
this guy is
you know, one thing is that I think Fino is an exceptional guy. And we've met. I mean, we've hung out a couple of times. I mean, maybe at the airport or something. But one thing I found out about him is that he's very. You know, there's a confidence you have that is a healthy confidence, and there's overconfidence. It's clear that he knows what he's doing. It's clear that he's very comfortable, but he's respectful and very cordial to people. And that leads me to something that I found in a part of your book, which connects now, which makes sense as you're saying, and I flipped to the part. It's on page 79 of your book, you know, and you said something here. You said, when you go to events, by the way, if you're an artist and you're watching this, please buy this book. Trust me, it is worth it. And I'm not hyping the book. It is very, very important things that ticks, because obviously, I mean, just even looking at the book, the kind of recommendations you have, the people that wrote the industry people you got were very, very influential, very experienced. But I like the fact that it breaks down to small practical steps. So I'll just take one now. It says, when you go to events, keep shyness away and approach people. This is now to the artist now. He says, say hello with a smile and introduce yourself. Sometimes an important person might be dressed so casually that you would think they are not important. Therefore, it's detrimental to overlook anybody. Very important. Because I've seen many, many times that artists have acted up, right? And they have not they have not. I'll give you a simple example. One time I was in Abuja at I flew into Abuja for I came for a meeting or something. And so when one of these gardens where they sell this roasted fish and things, so one of my friends invited somebody to meet us. So while we were there, the person was an artist, but they couldn't see me very well. They didn't know who I was. I didn't tell them my name, so they didn't know. But there was an attitude the guy was giving. So my friend was like, meet my friend Audu. And the guy came with one kind of attitude like, what's up? It was that kind of, I'm a big boy, who the hell are you? That kind of thing. And it was, he was arrogant throughout the conversation, basically. He was funny throughout the conversation. It was when we're leaving and I got up and the light hit my face. Then he said, oh, you're Audu Maikori? I said, yes. And then his whole countenance changed. Like, he now became very polite and all that, but he already made a bad impression. I mean, I won't name the name of the artist. But I'm saying sometimes they get carried away with this and they don't know how to act. So my question is, if you're an artist and you have ego, and how have you been able to handle that matter with other people that you work with across the industry?
Okay, before I even work with people, I don't just decide to work with you. I have to look at your personality. I have to look at your inner self. Because if some people have this naturally, they are born, they are troublemaker. they don't have good vibes with people. So it's going to affect the business.
So would you say no? So if you saw an artist that's really good but had a bad attitude, you will not manage him?
I will look into you. I will see how I can be able to, change that. I might not be able to change it completely, but if it's going to affect the business, then what are we doing? I don't want to come and waste my time because you understand. People will deal with you more if they figure that, okay, this personality is cool. You can represent. You're not. You don't have this ego. You don't put your ego out there. As a guy, we all have ego, but when it comes to business and dealing with people, you have to know how to manage it. So I look at that aspect. It's very, very important because people that are going to call you for business, if you don't know how to negotiate, if you don't really know how to discuss with them properly, answer phone etiquette and stuff like that, I don't think you can be able to generate any income. You just be sitting around.
But Bon, another thing though, it's popular practice that the artist can be an asshole as long as the manager is good. Right? So if you have an asshole artist and the manager is really good, it's the manager that does most of the communication. Do you find that that's how it works, or do you think that it's important that both are a certain way for them to succeed?
It's both. I think both should try to work on that same level, that same pace. We have some artists that are very, very arrogant. And if I look today, this 2020, I can't even find them anywhere as a result of their art. You understand? That's why these people keep asking, oh, I've not been hearing about this guy. If you check properly, he's having attitude problem with the industry people, with people around him. The manager might be good, but sometimes people will want to call up the manager because of the artist. They are calling up the business to book that show because of they want the artist. But if they think on the other hand, okay, this person now will start giving me attitude, they might not even be able to pick up the phone calls or come for the event. That is, you guys will lose that money. You understand? So attitude for me is everything.
Everything.
Yes.
How long did it take you to write the book though?
I started writing like 2017. I did a talent search. There's a talent search I did in 3 different cities. So that gave me the idea. Doing that talent search, I did it in Oka, Enugu, and Owerri, right? Just to discover people, to give people a platform and showcase them, not necessarily to sign anybody. I just want to kickstart somebody's career. Then at the same time, set entertainment in those areas because of my position. I figure so that time I mingle with a whole lot of artists. This talent search, I have some people like Mastercraft, Fino and stuff. They were the judges. We are just trying to discover people, just to do something like Americans Got Talent. So during that time, I worked with a whole lot of upcoming artists. So I now figured out, okay, these people have no clue about the business. So I started putting the book together gradually. Then at the time I stopped. Then along the line, I picked it up again. Then It took me like, let me just say 2 years to put it together. Then after, when I'm done with the book, the cover, I'm not really satisfied. This is not really how the first cover is, right? That picture was taken by amazing Clef, amazing guy. Yeah. Then the person that started that was Kenny episode. So I really took my time, but that cover wasn't like that. This is not the initial cover. I was looking for something very catchy, something artistic, something different, right? I want the cover to sell the book first. Then when you now open the book, you now be amazed. So it took me that cover alone. I have to redo it again. I have to spend another money in creating it again. You know, then the people I worked with, the creative guy, they helped me to pick up the right cover. Then the book itself, the way I write it, I was looking at a layman language. You know how Nigerians think. I don't want the size. I'm particular about the size. So I was looking at the size of the book because I'm one of those people that if I'm buying book, I look at the size. It's too big.
Not too big, right?
Yeah, it's not too big. So I was trying to put myself in different people's position. You know, then I'm using a layman language to write it. I don't want it to be too grammatical, English. No, I want you to, because this book, I read this Aki Alabi's book, the owner of Naira. You know, I read his book. I read the book back and forth. If you read that book, it's very simple. It's like elementary English.
Right? Yeah.
Elementary English is very simple. Yeah. That's what people want to hear. So in that, I had it in mind. I said, okay, let me put it that way too. People don't want too many stories. You know, Nigerians, they don't want too many stories. They want something simple, easy going. They can just flip at it. So I don't want the book to be too much. So I had that in mind.
Yeah. I mean, let me for those who haven't bought the book, I'll advise you, please go and buy the book. It's not hype. They are practical, simple steps for people who want to. And even if you're not even an artist and you want to invest in music, whether you're a label owner or you're an enthusiast, there's so many lessons to learn here. So, for example, like you have a couple of interesting chapters that I liked.
Yeah.
Everything was interesting, but I'm just talking about how the detail, the currency of the music industry, branding, mastering the musical craft, building the ideal team, networking, mindset of a successful artist, navigating 360 deals as a music artist, turning your music into a cash cow, and last but not least, an open letter to an upcoming artist. Let's talk about that last part. What summarize that in a few words? I love it.
The open letter is generally like the summary of the whole book, you know, giving them ideas and how they can go from point A to Z. That mindset is very, very important. I factored a whole lot of that mindset in that, because if you meet an upcoming artist right now, his mindset is to, because Fino has a double R now. So everybody wants to, Davido has a mansion. So they are seeing that end product. They're not focusing on why, how did this guy do this? How did this get to that level? You understand? They don't forget that, okay, it took Davido like maybe 10 years to get to where he is now.
True.
But they don't look at all those parts. They are focusing on, oh, this house now, that house, the end product. They're not looking at those stages. So if you're an artist, if you're looking at why, how, you know, if you start studying all those things, I think you will go a long way.
Yeah.
Those are the things I mentioned on that last part. Those letters. Why did this guy do this thing? How did this guy do this thing? Those are the things you need to study. If you start putting them one by one, take from this guy. Why is Wizkid? What made Fino so great? Why is Fino's brand so powerful? Why is he a brand? You understand? How did he even start? What made him to become, you know, if you start thinking on that direction, if you start putting them down together, I think you even become bigger than Wizkid.
So I love that. We'll be winding down now. So we'll take questions anybody has. But I did want to say, use this opportunity also to invite you. We're having the music conference that we talked about. We've been talking about over the series, and we'll definitely want to have you, come through that and also kind of share your knowledge with that. Maybe we can also talk about maybe creating some excerpts. Do you have an e-copy of the book? Do you have an e-book?
Yeah, I have e-copy of it. I have this hard copy like that. I'm currently working on the audio version. Then
Okay,
I
fantastic.
have the movie I want to shoot for it. I want to shoot
Wow.
a movie because I figured that we don't really have these educative classes or platforms that people will go and study the business side of music.
Yeah.
So the movie I'm working on just to entail the business side of the music. You know, we've seen a lot of action movie, but there's nothing educating
About the music business.
about the business side.
Yeah, brilliant. I like that. And just also to say that now more than ever, there's a hunger for knowledge. One of the people that's here, Mandy Ozogba, she also does this constant classes. I mean, a lot of IG sessions around music business and things like that. So that's a good look. And I think that there's going to be a groundswell of so much knowledge. Now, let's leave the book for a quick second, right? Again, let me do the last advert before we get out here. Go and buy this book. Not a joke. You should buy the book. It is totally worth it. How much is it retailing for?
It's $15. That's 5,000 naira.
Okay,
hard copy.
So 5,000 naira that can earn you $5 million. I don't think that's a bad deal.
Yeah,
I mean, that's not a bad deal.
One of my friends was like, I should make it 10,000 because of the knowledge inside and the people I featured on the book. But it's not about the money for me. You know, but anything can happen. I can become a billionaire with this book. Anything can happen. If I have like 10,000, it's 2005. You know, it's not about the money for me. It's re-educating the next whiskey, the next Audu Maikori. That's what we are trying to do.
Amen. I like that. So, what is next? I mean, why are you in Jersey? Have you left us? What's going on? What are you doing in New Jersey?
About the follow your footsteps.
Yeah, but
I'm following your footsteps.
are you working on anything? What are you working on now in Jersey? Any new projects you can look forward to apart from the books and the movie? Okay. You have a movie, you have a book, you have a audio book as well that's coming up, right?
Yeah.
What do you think about the exportability of our music now? What is that looking like? The exportability of our music internationally?
I think it can go. It's already global. We're already here, you know. But sustaining it now, sustainability is what we are battling. You know, I think it can become. It's already #1 in Africa. I think it can become #1 in the world, though. Not this 2020, but there is possibility. We are very close, you know, because we've had our artists being nominated on the Grammy, BETs. Now it's being recognized. If you are working everywhere in New York now, you will be hearing Nigerian music.
Yeah.
There's Flavor, there's Davido, a whole bunch of people everywhere. People are beginning to identify with us. People are beginning to say, "Oh, I'm Nigerian," or I want to date Nigerian. I love you guys' culture, you know, because of music.
I didn't even tell you. So last year in June, I was in LA for the BET Awards, I think. No, was it? Yeah, BET. So Fino was also performed somewhere in LA. There's a gig that he had
in last year June. Yes.
Right? In LA somewhere. And we waited. I mean, only Fino would make me, because we drove, it was a distance. We waited for like 3 hours. Man, and the next morning I was leaving around 7 p.m. So I left. But how did that go? DJ Spinall, I see you. DJ Spinall in the building.
It didn't happen. Yeah. Hey, Spinall, Baba, I agree to you. Spinall is one of the great guys I respect too.
No. Spinall too has. I mean, I think he's one of the guys that needs to write a book as well, because he has done very well with his brand, and has always been a very mellow. And I think that's what if you look at. I mean, just look at your book. Greatness is not about how much you shout. Yeah. Greatness is that you are so talented, you're so respected, but you respect people as well.
Yeah,
this is what you're talking about in your book. There's a part where you talk about the attitude as well, and talking to people like Mosagi and all that. So
I like Spinall because if you look at every music he puts out, he pays attention. That's why it's sounding different. It's so classy. Every music from the one that he puts out, and the kind of artist he's working with, it's so classic. Now, I do events on the side. You know, it's revolved the business. I did event for Fino last year here in Jersey. You know, about 1,000 capacity hall, and it turned out well. It did good.
Oh yeah. Okay, I heard about that one too. Yeah, I heard about that one.
Yeah. It was good. people turned out, and we're supposed to do something again this summer with some other artists as well. But this COVID-19 now, nothing is really going on. Everybody's pushing their game next year. You know, but we'll keep pushing. We still believe in. We're just trying to see right now how we can connect our music properly to people out here in the state. You know, to be that bridge that people will say, people will be like, oh, I love this music because of this guy. I love what you guys are doing. Trying to bring the American artists to come and collaborate with our own artists, not we pursuing them here and there. You know, I think we've gone on that level, and it's beginning to happen. If I go on IG now, most of them, they talk about it. They play the songs on their all the time, our songs, and it's not been happening. You know, but I think there's still more that we can do. We just need to, like you guys say, you know, partnership, as we are talking about this social media week now. I think it will do a whole lot of us. And thank God for technology. Technology now is helping us to spread our music, to spread our culture very fast.
To the world.
Very fast.
To the world. Okay. All right, man. So thank you so much. It's been really, really great. Any passing words before we get off this? Any words to your would-be book buyers or your fans or anybody who wants to follow your path? Any last things?
They should get my book. I said a whole lot. I said a whole lot about in the book, and the people I featured on the book. I featured the industry heavyweight. It's not about me. It's not my book. It's our book.
Oh, I love that.
Our book. That's why I try to partner with different people on the book to share their knowledge, because I know we have a lot of experienced artist managers, but most of them are not really coming out to tell our stories, to share their information, experiences. That's the reason why I put the book together, to share that experience. So I want you guys to go get it. It's on Amazon, it's on Okada Books, or you can send me a direct message. Then if you get a copy of the book, I've had this group class, right? It's made up of artists, artist managers, promoters, you know, some tech guys. We just discuss music and stuff like that. If you get a copy of the book, you let me know. You automatically have a pass.
Fantastic.
On the class. So we have access to me like direct. We can talk. We just conversate on music business. It's free, but you have to get a book to be on that.
I like that. Brilliant. All right, man. Bon, thank you so much. It's been fantastic. Like you said, go buy the book. No long story. And I'll catch you guys next week. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, boss. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. All right, man.